So, welcome to today's episode. We have a very exciting guest today. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome to the Profit Path AI. We specialize in helping financial services personnel and commercial personal insurance businesses scale their revenues. Today, we're speaking to Kumar from DwellFi. I got
Yeah,
that
we
right,
call it
Kumar?
DwellFi.
DwellFi. I'm sorry, my bad. Um, So listen, let's just kind of dive right into this because as I was looking at what you guys do, you're very in depth. And it's obviously cutting edge stuff because, in my travels, we're just now starting to scratch the surface on this. So, first question I'm going to throw to you: what problem in the investment or fund management world did you see that led you to creating your company?
Yeah, very good question, actually. So, if you closely monitor fund operations, and especially from the operation sides, you will realize that the way it works is stuck in 1980s. That means 80 to 90% of the work is done manually,
Yeah.
and which causes two things. One, delay in investors statements. That's one thing, but a lot of investor communication, investor onboarding, so name it, all of these things cause a lot of delay. Second, it creates a lot of error
Right.
because of the manual process. So overall, the satisfaction level, uh, which is typically called NPS score in the world of retail or anything, that is basically there is no, it's very low.
Okay.
And the reason why people don't talk about that is because there is no need for that, because everyone is like that, correct? So that's the industry standard. And it's not that the companies are not trying to do better. There is a humongous amount of money spent in this world, but still, it's kind of still stuck in that era. So, to give you a context, roughly 80 cents on a dollar of revenue goes into the back office, middle office operations in
Wow.
the fund operation side. So it's typically service oriented business, a lot of manual stuff, and then if you look from a tech perspective, you see this as an opportunity because definitely it is one of the fastest growing market. So today the private debt or market is roughly 13 to 14 trillion dollar, and by 2030 it will get to roughly 30 trillion or 30 plus trillion dollar.
Sure.
Plus new type of assets are always coming into this market, which adds a lot more complexity, which again creates an opportunity. So now the digital assets, now that digital asset treasuries are coming in, different type of asset class are coming in, like GPU financing and also. So the overall, there's always new thing coming in, which adds more complexity, more regulations. So that is an opportunity from software perspective. So yeah, that's how the reason of starting this company.
That's big stuff. That's big stuff. So, in listening to you, so we're talking about really big efficiency
Yep.
is what your company's providing. How does that work from a compliance standpoint? Does it make life easier when auditors come and look at your books? It much
Yep.
simpler.
Exactly. Yep. That is the
Okay.
whole purpose of creating these whole process. Automation is not just automating the process, but how you can reference back those things. That is important. So take an example like in a traditional scenario, you do a bank reconciliation, correct, which has happened on a daily basis, which is pretty common for everyone. But just the size of the volume of transactions, it, it's impossible for people to manually do, or even using some software, it's like to take every single transaction, correct? So
Right.
people use sampling. So you can do sampling and then make sure everything works great. But 1 year later, there's an audit, and then auditor found something like, okay, this was not matching. the amount of work to go
To
and
go
track
back.
that thing goes
Yeah.
is 10 times more than what you put in to get the results, correct?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. It's not natural. So the software, when you do AI automation, basically AI is looking into every single transactions because it
Yeah.
can, correct? And then it's referencing everything. So any output you see can be referenced back why this. So it's very easy to audit. Basically, audit trail exists from day one.
Right. Right. So you were the guys that looked at something and said, "We can fix this."
Yeah,
That's
kind of.
that's incredible. That's an incredible thing because, like you said, things have been happening the same way since the beginning of time,
Yep.
and you guys are on the precipice of just revolutionizing just the paperwork part of it, for that matter. I
Yep.
mean, it's absolutely crazy. So, on a typical day, in plain English, what would your, beyond what we've just talked about, your platform on a typical day, what would it do? Um, so we're automating back office, workflow, blockchain to make things more transparent. If I'm a fund manager, if I'm somebody that has your service, what can I expect?
Yeah, so basically our ultimate goal is like if you're a fund manager, you should focus on the deals, correct? You should not focus with day-to-day interaction with your LP. Yes, you should be, but when there you are doing a capital call, correct? So you should be only checking in your bank account, okay, the capital call is done, correct? You
Right.
should be focused on making deal and making sure that your LP get the benefit, correct, of your investment. You
Sure.
not getting into the bogged down with the okay, I have to do LP onboarding, or I have to go to the KYC AML, make sure LP gets the statement on time, oh, make sure the LP has all the capital call correct, oh, once the capital call is reached, my bank and custodian has received that thing, oh, I can
Right.
report it back. So all these things you should not have any headache. You
Right.
should feel like it's running in a well-oiled machine, and whenever I want, I can go and get that information on my fingertip.
God.
So I have a peace of mind. I can focus on building deals
Right.
and making deals and investment, and then whenever I want, I can go back and see that whatever information I want on a fingertip. So that's
Sure.
that's kind of scenario.
God, we run a parallel business because the solutions that you're talking about from that side of the business are very much in line with some of the solutions that we like to offer. It's just amazing how parallel the two
Yep.
are. When
Can
I
you give
was
me a
doing
minute?
a little, go ahead.
Just we have to stop. Just 1 minute. I have to get something on that door. Just
Sure.
yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, all set. So in when I was doing a quick overview, taking a look at you guys, your online presence, what you do, there's terms that now everybody's hearing: tokenization, AI, and tokenization. And can you simplify, what that is, what that means in your business, what it means in your world?
Yeah. So the tokenization is if you try to make it, it can be very complex, correct?
Yeah.
But in a simple term, it's nothing more than a normal ledger, correct?
Okay.
And like as a traditional ledger, it's the same ledger, but it's digital. So and third piece of that is transparent, means every can everyone can have access to that. Of course, from a security point of view, you encrypt that information and all those things, but the idea is there is a transparent ledger. But the main fundamental difference is the information which goes into that ledger, you don't need a third party to validate that information that goes into the ledger. Is the blockchain and the algorithm which runs that blockchain, consensus algorithm. There's different type of proof of work, proof of stake, all those things which you listen. But ideally, that is your third party in this blockchain space, which validates that entry on the ledger. Once
Okay.
it goes on the ledger, the second benefit of that is immutable, so nobody can go and change it. So you have an auditability trait and you have a transparency. So that's what, in a nutshell, the overall blockchain is.
Okay.
Fundamental difference which it brings is through the smart contract, which basically runs that. So now, since when you do an entry on the blockchain, it's validated by the consensus algorithm, it's there. Now you can take action on that data with the help of the smart contract. So smart
Right.
contract is nothing but just a software, piece of software, which has bunch of rules and execute that rules based on what events happen. So
Okay.
that's what the everything, like in a nutshell, in a very plain English.
Okay, got it. So it's interesting because, again, you're on the precipice of like this huge boom, this technology boom. And I'm looking at, I wrote this down. I know from my point of view how financial firms can be so traditional. As we get older, it gets worse, right?
Yeah.
How can you make established fund managers comfortable with this kind of technology?
Yeah, that's a very, so that's actually very, very valid point and something we have experienced in the early days of product adoption. So when you go to a real estate fund manager, take an example and say, "Oh,
Right.
I will tokenize your fund," and today people are like way more comfortable than 3 years or 4 years back when we started.
Right.
It just people get crazy. Oh, tokenize means you will have a token. I will get a dual token, or what happens? I will want to put money fiat. No, I don't want token, and all those things. Correct. So
Right.
that's one. Second thing is the moment you see something like tokenized on your portal, that's also crazy. Correct. So the most important thing is how you're gonna bring a non-Web3 native person to a Web3 experience,
All
correct?
right.
Without having a, a lot of information overload to that person. And the way to do that is you don't bring a Web3 person to Web2 person, rather you bring a Web2 person to the Web2 experience, but you push all the Web3 in the back.
Okay.
So that's what we did. So we basically created a portal through which you can have, it's a normal LPGP portal. You go there, everything is there. But when you log in, by default, we create a self-custodian MPC wallet in backend for you. Then your tokenized asset is stored as a digital certificate in that. And then you can access that in a Web3 interface. You don't have to manage your wallet and all those things. But everything is there. But by normal permissions, through email you can manage your wallet, so your key is secured, your, and we have like three paired system key, but it's all connected with your email. So if you lose your email, then your, but still there is a way to recover that because it's security token. But that's all web 2 experience, and all the web 3 goes in the behind backend.
Okay.
So
Right.
you don't even have to deal with a wallet key, connecting the wallet, all those things.
Baby steps.
Yep, exactly.
It's like baby steps. So let's say you run a fund manager through an introduction to your services. What's the normal response that you might get?
So now it's very, people are very receptive.
Okay.
Earlier it was not. So if you talk about tokenization thing earlier, it becomes a little challenging for the people to understand how it is. But then when you go and break down the things and explain in a plain English, people understand. So, but now it's, the world is different. People are actually wants to tokenize because the money market and everything is tokenized now. Is like getting there. So people who are approaching is basically well aware of what this technology is.
So let's say somebody signs on, subscribes to your services. Is there a is there levels? Are there levels in which they can participate, or is it once you're in, you get the full boat? Is
Yeah,
it? Are there?
so yeah, depending on like, but mostly if you're working with a fund, we give them two options. First is like you don't have to worry about the tokenization. Tokenization is a switch of we get on and off.
Okay.
And then if you on, then it's available. If it's off, it's not available. But then you just have a Web 2 experience.
Okay.
And Web 3 experience, the tokenization you want to leverage, will enable it, but it's still your Web 2 experience will not change. It's in all the backend. But now you can leverage the value and technology. So you
Okay.
can do equity swap, you can do collateralized lending, all those things you can do that because now the asset and the asset data is tokenized and minted on chain.
Good.
So, but you don't have to worry about your experience is day one, whatever the experience you are facing as Web 2 experience, it's the same experience. So it's not going to change.
Got it. Got it. So, in my reading, there's a lot of buzz in fintech around automation and blockchain. What makes you guys different than anybody else in the space?
Yeah, it's also a really good question. So everyone and most of the people in the space when they do tokenization, the way they tokenize the asset is they create an SPV and tokenize the asset and issue a token against the fund unit, which is a standard practice. And if you do that, it's good enough, but it's not good enough for taking any value out of tokenization. So why I say that? Let's say I did the same thing and I issue your token. You have like 10 tokens in my fund which represent 10 unit, correct? Now you want to trade that token or you want to borrow against that token or you want to do equity swap of that token. Any of these things you want to do it, first and the foremost thing you have to know is what is the value of that unit today? What is
Right.
the NAV? And that NAV is off chain. So, what is the purpose of tokenizing it? Because if you do that, keep that thing on chain or versus off chain, doesn't matter because anyway, to know exactly what value is, you have to go off chain, and it's defeat the purpose of tokenization. So
Okay.
that's what fundamentally we do different. What we do is when we tokenize the asset plus data. So all the asset data is, so we use a dynamic NFT kind of contract, which basically has two parts. One is the cap table, which is fungible. So that means who
Right.
owns what is always constant until unless there is a transaction. And the dynamic part is the NAV and unit, price, when it bought, all those things. What document you sign, everything is now metadata attached to that smart contract, and in real time it changes whenever the nav changes, and it's all encapsulated in the smart contract and minted on blockchain.
So you don't
So
have to go on and off.
yeah, so
Wow.
now you can go on chain and you can borrow if there is a, a borrower, a lender, you can borrow against that asset because that lender can underwrite the whole asset because it has all the record of the asset on chain.
Got it.
You can do an equity swap with an existing LP in the fund because you both have the same value and
Right.
same data source which fund has. So that's the fundamental difference what we do and what other people have done.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. So, how do you guys stay compliant while still being cutting edge? And the second part of that, though, is what keeps you up at night as founder and leader in this space?
So the first, sorry, the state compliance is basically following whatever the rules and regulations are. So we have regulations here. We have in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So we have Vera license, and also we try to get all the compliance license to stay on top of that. That's the way you are compliant and follow all the regulations. And the second thing is what keeps me up is basically technology is changing at very very fast pace, and the world is also changing at the same very fast pace, correct? So you have to be on top of that. So you have always be on top of that what's happening next, so that you are ahead of your game. If you're not, then basically if you take rest you'll be lagged
Yeah.
and you'll fall behind. So that's what bothering that's what keeps me up.
Yeah, well, so another part of that question comes to mind because I could talk to you all day long, and it's like going from kindergarten to graduating college in the conversation. But you're only good. You're focused on technology, and the technology, if you approach it correctly, I assume it can't fail you. But the part that is difficult are the employees, the people around you. So the technology is stable and you can bet on it. How about the employees?
Yeah,
Is that a difficult part of your business?
it's kind of not because the the way we have a small team, 26 people.
Okay.
The way we do operate is everyone in the company is pretty much aligned with the vision and the idea,
Okay.
and we all like focus on the same thing which we are trying to achieve.
Okay.
So far it's not challenging because everyone is aligned. Yes, if you grow and become very very big, then it becomes very challenging to do that.
Right.
So at this stage we are fortunate that we are not having that problem.
Well, listen, you know what? Sometimes those problems are the greatest problems you can have,
Yeah,
right? As long as you
exactly.
keep up with them. And that kind of dovetails into this. Do you see yourself partnering with a big financial institution, or do you see yourself staying independent? What could be
No,
the end game?
no, we already partnered with a lot of financial institutions. We work with them. Uh,
Okay.
so uh, we are like a,
Well, you're private right now, though, right?
yeah, we are private
Do we
company.
have plans on becoming a public company?
Uh, it's too early to say
Okay.
where we will go, and it all depends from this point to the next 3 to 4 years,
Okay.
how fast we are growing. If we are to a point where we are a sizable company and interest enough for the sizable company to acquire, then we'll go to that route. Or if we're growing super fast and we're becoming like really big, then we go public and then acquire other people. So it all
You,
depends.
you think about that?
I definitely think about that because I need to plan accordingly. So what's the exit path is.
Right.
So I have a clear idea when is the time to decide where to go. Is it the acquisition route or going public route? We
Right.
know when that those decisions will be triggered.
Seems like today I'm running into more people that go the acquisition route.
Yeah,
You know,
right
that
now.
just seems to be
Yeah,
where everybody's focused on.
exactly.
So you faced obstacles. Every business faces obstacles. Are yours? What has been the biggest challenge? Is it regulatory? Is it technical? Is it adapting everything?
I
Where?
think yeah, the biggest challenge when we started earlier was the regulatory
Okay.
because it was very, very uh, kind of wild, wild west to understand exactly because we started with tokenization business and it was the downturn of the market.
Okay.
market. Uh, FTX has collapsed and all those things. So it
Right.
was a very challenging time. So that was the big challenge. Now it's very crypto friendly market. So this is a different type of world. But now the challenge is we do a lot of AI. The challenge is technology. The way it at the pace the technology is basically developing and changing every day. It's very hard to keep pace of that. So
Okay.
that's become challenging.
So I'm gonna circle back to the AI part of this in a second, but where do you see all this going? The combination of AI, blockchain, and finance in the next 5 years, let's say. What are we going to see in terms of growth?
Very, sorry, a very interesting question because the way it's growing at this time, like especially AI, is it's kind of super challenging to explain what's going to happen in next 5 year at this pace. To be honest,
Okay.
uh, we are at the stage definitely where the the we are able to develop the code. Code is written by AI and all those things, but not like production grade. You can improve its code production grade, but it's not able to like recreate itself and reheal. That's where the I think the biggest bottleneck is. But if we are able to crack that, then we are heading towards AGI, which people are talking about, and we will be in next 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years. Who knows? But
Okay.
then we are talking about a world where everything. It's not about the software. It's about every single thing which you can imagine is possible
Okay.
with that technology. And There's good side and bad side both. Nobody knows where it will go. There are both type of people who talk about the doomers side. People think about the AI will take over because now you have a super intelligence,
Right.
which is way more intelligent than you, correct? So thinking about like a brain of a dog versus a brain of a human.
Sure.
So that's kind of difference will happen, and then nobody knows because what is the priority for that thing. So that's the one analogy of people going into that direction.
Okay.
And the other analogy is when we have this technology where we can do anything, that means we're going to solve something, all the problems which we face today. So, very simple example like diseases, we will be able to eradicate any sort of disease because, like AlphaFold is the Google open source project which allow people to do protein folding, and when you do protein folding you can create drugs. That's how drugs discoveries are done. But to
Right.
give you context like how powerful these things are, back in the days when AlphaFold was not there, when people used to go and do their PhD in this field, the whole 4 or 5 years it used to take one protein fold,
Right.
and then you get your PhD, or maybe not able to do it, still you get the PhD. Now every known protein and every possible fold is possible on a click of a button through this
Jeez.
algorithm. So that's kind of leapfrog you're seeing, quantum leap, correct? So now when you apply that kind of thing in every single field, you'll have new materials, you have new molecules, you have new drugs, you have personalized drugs. Like everything will
Unreal.
be basically available to humankind, and it's good for us, correct? So there is these two paths, uh, and right now we are at the kind of fork of this, and we don't know where we will go. And the people are working on both the directions. Everyone is trying to get to a AGI, and
Right.
then super intelligence, like Meta and all. You have seen like how much money is pouring in and data
Yeah.
centers. So everyone is heading towards that. Once we get there, then I think uh, nature will decide, or someone will, something will happen, and we'll know where we are going. But nobody knows where we will end up at that juncture. But right now, the race is to get to that point.
So listen, that explanation makes this question seem kind of silly, but with the combination of AI, blockchain, and finance, will private investments become more open and accessible to everyday investors?
Yeah, so private investment is still open for a lot of people. It's not that it's not open. It's the regulations are where, like for example, to invest in a private fund or something, you need to be an accredited investor. The
Sure.
definition of an accredited investor is today defined by based on what your net worth is. It
Hmm.
should be defined based on your knowledge, not by net worth, correct?
Yeah.
Because when you go and you can gamble money in a casino, at that time nobody is asking if you are a financial literate or not, correct?
Right.
Then why, when you are investing in a sophisticated investment tool, then why somebody is asking what is your net worth? Why not asking do you are you qualified for that? So that's kind of stupid rule, but because of those things are not, the private market is open. It's not about technology or anything. It's about the regulation which blocks people to get access to those kind of
Right.
instrument.
Awesome. Man, it's that's a load of information. You know what? And in a lot of our listeners, a lot of our viewers are still from that point of view of, they're old in the industry. And we put this together for the educational part of financial services, commercial, personal insurance. And those industries are changing rapidly in terms of you either get on your bus or you get left behind.
Exactly.
That's really the way it looks. So this is, I know it's fascinating to me, and I've been in financial services since the mid '80s. But everybody is, and I hope this works. But everybody is now on that ledge with AI and
Yep.
what it can do. It's obviously drives your business. It
Yep.
drives the results of your business. But in our experience in financial services, commercial, personal insurance, everything is about client acquisition. That we've got to have clients, in order to perform. Do you use the same AI capabilities that you have in your business to find clients, to acquire new clients?
Yep, exactly.
What's that look like? What's that look like for you?
So see, the thing is, what AI, the way people have to think about is AI is not magic. Is basically what AI enables is the same thing which a human is doing, the same process which you are doing, but it is able to do 100x faster
Right.
and
Right.
in a repetitive way. So, for example, when you have to do an acquire a client, means you are finding a lead, correct? Today, you have a process of doing that, correct? And
Yeah.
you do it manually, or you do it with different tools, but combining those tools like go to LinkedIn marketing and all those things, correct? And that's what you're doing today. Now, if you bring AI, what you're going to do is you basically take the whole process and create some sort of an agent which will do the same thing for you. But now it can do it at scale.
Right.
So, what you were able to do with like 50 quality reach, now it can do 500 quality reach, same quality,
Right.
because it can do a repetitive process. So
Sure.
that's the AI. It's not about like AI is doing something different. It's basically doing the same thing which you do,
Right.
but it's doing at scale,
Yeah. More efficient.
more efficient. Yeah.
Faster, more efficient. Well, that's fantastic. In the coming weeks, we have some real titans in both financial services and personal commercial insurance that are going to be guests on our show. One of the biggest is going to be making a huge financial transaction with Mass Mutual. Started off as a sole proprietor in all 50 states, mortgage industry. Probably be the next Mortgage Brokers Association president. He's going to be very interested in seeing this when we post it and when we're done. I think it's going to be great. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end this? I think you've been remarkably insightful, and I really appreciate it. Anything that you'd like to say to maybe prospective business owners that want to utilize your talents and your skills in your company?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Uh, I would say, of course, anyone wants to reach out to me, they can go to DwellFi or LinkedIn or anyone. You can easily reach out. I'm pretty much accessible through that. But for anyone who's listening, and maybe if they're on about AI and they know AI is not a problem, but if they are worrying about AI, is do not worry about the AI, but try to incorporate AI in your business and think from that perspective, because AI is not gonna, like this is everyone talks about, AI is not gonna replace your business or kill your business. It's gonna kill those businesses or replace those people who are not leveraging AI. So be that person who leverage AI, be smart, use that thing and incorporate into your every
Yep.
single operations. And that's where you'll start seeing the benefit. You'll start seeing the leapfrog, quantum leaps,
Sure.
and you'll be in a completely different stage where you are today. So just open-minded and learn, and keep learning. It's like, because it's like 5 years back, there's a whole different world. Today we are in a completely different world, and 5 years from now we can't even imagine. So be on top of this. That's it.
Right. I'm glad I'm going to have this to reference. Listen, we're going to cut this off right now. You've been absolutely fantastic. Don't go anywhere, though. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being with us.